Mercedes ended up at second and fourth at the Mexican Grand Prix after admitting that they chose the wrong strategy in terms of tires to go through the entire race. But did Mercedes have a legitimate shot at the victory at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez circuit? Let's find out. Mercedes were a lot closer to Red Bull at the Mexican Grand Prix, thanks to the high-altitude race favoring the W13's characteristics. The high altitude meant that drag levels of the cars are out of the equation pretty much, with the high downforce package becoming mandatory for all teams to get a better balance for this track. This translated into raw pace, as we saw the Mercedes duo trading fast lap times, challenging the Red Bull drivers. During third free practice, Mercedes were ahead of the Red Bull, but Max Verstappen was able to deliver that clinical lap at Q3 to secure pole position. George Russell was not able to challenge that benchmark lap time, and Hamilton had other issues in the form of track limit and power unit problems. George Russell was frustrated on himself for not getting his second pole of the season, as he mentioned that they had the fastest car of the weekend. "I believe this weekend we've had the fastest car," said Russell. "And if you've got the fastest car, there's no reason why you can't win the race. I think Max did an excellent job, as he's consistently doing week in, week out. But it's going to be very difficult to pass him. They're gaining about 3/10 on us down the straight. We definitely can beat Red Bull, for sure. But I don't think we're going to be able to make the overtake on track. We're going to have to be strategic. The strategy, is it going to be a 1 or a 2 stop? I guess having both Lewis and I there, we can be aggressive." One factor Russell pointed to is the advantage of Mercedes having two drivers in the top three, with Lewis Hamilton qualifying third after an engine oscillation cost him on corner exits in qualifying, while Verstappen's teammate, Sergio Perez, starts behind. Another clear advantage the Silver Arrows had going into Mexico was the pace advantage over the Ferraris, which were struggling on the high-altitude circuit. By the way, if you are enjoying the content we create at Overtake Fans, do consider subscribing to the channel to receive latest Formula One updates without a delay. Starting at the front two rows, the Silver Arrows were ready to pounce at Max Verstappen when lights go out, and they did exactly the same. Lewis Hamilton got his elbows out on his teammate George Russell down at turns 2 and 3 on the opening lap to secure second place. The Silver Arrows took an awkward decision by starting on the medium compound tires, compared with the Red Bull and Ferrari starting on the softs. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell were well hanging on to the tails of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez for the opening 20 laps, considering the pace deficit the medium tires have on the soft compound tires. Reasons for Mercedes starting on the medium tires was, first, to try something else to its rivals, second, not having new sets off tires at their disposal for both drivers. When we check on the pace and lap times the top four were delivering, they were trading more or less similar lap times with a 10th up and down. That really gave Mercedes the upper hand, considering that Red Bull has to pit early than the Mercedes duo, who were planning to run long. As of Red Bull pitting, the Silver Arrows strategy team took the decision on pitting for hards, even when the drivers insisted on running long on the medium tires. Main reason for this was the team seeing some degradation on the medium tires on around 30 laps, and leading on to assume that the Red Bulls will struggle on the mediums at the closing stages of the Grand Prix, which was not the case, and that is where I believe the Brackley base squad did not roll the dice properly in terms of strategy, costing them their first win of the season. During the post-race interviews, Lewis and George were happy with the results that achieved. They were very much happy with the car's pace, but were not happy with the team's strategy calls. Even Toto Wolff admitted this on Lewis Hamilton's team radio after the race ended. "We were pressured with Lewis to do that. We didn't think the medium would go anywhere near the end. We are totally surprised with the way Perez hammered the tires and it still hung on. We just got it wrong," Wolff told in his conversation with Sky Sports. Lewis suggested that he wanted to start on the soft compound tire and then move to the medium tires, same as what Red Bull did with Max and Sergio, but Mercedes' strategy team calling the shots, seeing some degradation on the mediums, eventually costing a shot at the race win. So, with all this in mind, did Mercedes have any other chance, any other strategy against Red Bull that could have produced that magic moment of a Mercedes win at Mexico? I think, yes, there were other options that Mercedes could have picked up to win at Mexico. First, let's look at the tire allocations, what tires Mercedes had at their disposal for the Sunday's race at Mexico. Both Hamilton and Russell had 3 used sets of softs, but 2 new sets of the medium tire and 1 new set of hard tires. So, considering the available tires at Mercedes, I believe the Silver Arrows had 2 better strategies at their hands than the one they played at the Grand Prix. Strategy number 1 is for a one-stop race by using the medium compound tires and the soft compound tires. You can ask, hey, it's the same strategy at Red Bull, what difference would have it made? It's the way they deploy it. Start on the medium compound tire as they did in the race, run to lap 45, and then pit for fresh softs. With low fuel at the closing stage of the Grand Prix, the softs would degrade slowly then of the race start, and it could have been a worthy gamble if the Silver Arrows were challenging Max Verstappen for the race win at Mexico. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez is a track of low tire wear, so running long is always doable. And this strategy is what George Russell wanted to execute, which we heard him say in the team radio. Strategy number 2 is the two-stop strategy. Start on the mediums, change to another set of mediums on the first stop and the second stop, moving onto a set of softs. This could have been an interesting strategy, considering the pace the Mercedes was showing. Lewis Hamilton was 1.7 to 2 seconds behind Max when Max pitted for the mediums, and it was at lap 22. It equates to about a tenth a second is what Lewis lost to Max on the first stint. But the lap time difference between the mediums and softs is nearly 3/10 a lap. That just shows how much Mercedes was ahead. If Mercedes went with the two-stop, they should pit on the same time as Max did and do a stint of 25 to 30 laps. That would allow the Mercedes to pit for a fresh set of softs at around lap 50 to 52. Now, in the second stint on the mediums, Lewis would not have overtook Verstappen, but we saw that Russell was 2.5 seconds quicker than Max on the last lap soft run at the Mexican Grand Prix. And with 20 laps to go, the Mercedes duo could have ended at the top step of the podium. Eventually a Mercedes 1-2 was on the cards. I believe that Mercedes should have gone with one of these 2 strategy calls if they are eager of that first race win of the season. Where are you with this matter? Do you think Mercedes had a chance of winning at Mexico, or would Max have come against all odds to win his 14th race of the season? Let us know in the comments section below. Give a thumbs up for this video today if you liked it. It really helps to spread our content out to more people. Please subscribe and ring the bell, and I will catch you on the next one.